Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube page. First and foremost, I just want to apologize that it has taken me so long to post another lupus video. I believe that we left off with my kidney biopsy vlog, which was posted back in November. So it has been a couple of months. And I will say that a lot has happened within the past couple of months, which I don't really want to go into any detail with. But basically, within these past couple of months, a lot of other lupus warriors have been reaching out to me either via email, commenting on my YouTube videos, or reaching out to me via Instagram, and have been basically asking me little questions here and there on how I cope with my lupus nephritis. And so I thought, hey, why not just make a detailed video to make it a little bit easier to answer all of these different questions I've been getting. And in order for me to make this as detailed as possible, I tried to think of ways to kind of categorize it. So I'm basically going to be splitting up this video into 3 parts. And let's see, we're gonna basically start off with the first category, which is going to be how I cope with lupus nephritis physically. And the second part is how I cope with lupus nephritis medically. And lastly, which is I think the most important, is how I cope with lupus nephritis emotionally / mentally. So again, I will be splitting up the video into 3 parts to answer all 3 of these categories, because obviously I went into those subcategories here and there. So yeah, so if you're totally interested, keep watching. So the first thing that I wanted to discuss in how I cope with lupus nephritis physically is hair loss. So generally, those with lupus may experience mild to severe hair loss. And obviously, if you throw in chemotherapy into the mix, you are more likely to experience severe hair loss. And throughout the years of having lupus, I had to undergo chemotherapy twice. First time around was with oral medications, and the second time around was with infusions. And so during both times, I did experience severe hair loss, but unfortunately, even not being on chemotherapy, I still experience mild hair loss here and there. So I have learned a lot of tips and tricks throughout the years to kind of help manage all of this. So everything that I'm going to share with you today is going to be things that I currently use to help battle hair loss. And basically the first product that I wanted to share is this product right here by MONAT. I don't know if you can see it, but this was highly referred to me by a friend who is actually a representative for this brand, and she highly suggested to do the intense repair treatment. So I do have the shampoo and then obviously the treatment, and this specifically basically helps stimulate hair growth. What I love about this hair product is that there's no toxic chemicals, it's cruelty-free and 100% vegan. So again, with it not having toxic chemicals in it, keeps my hair like super fresh and super manageable, and basically helps keep it naturally intact, because with any extra chemicals, obviously it can cause damage to the hair. So I have only been using this for about a month, but I am loving it so far. So other things that I like to use to help stimulate hair growth is these 2 products right here, if you can see it. So let me explain. This right here is a derma roller, and it's basically a roller with a whole bunch of needles in it. And this was or is originally made for the face. And what it does is these little needles basically penetrate your skin in a way where it causes damage and then signals your body to kind of repair that area. So it'll help boost the collagen and elasticity in that area. And I guess an off-the-book use for it is to actually use it on your scalp. So what I do is I roll this through my head, and so that it can open up kind of the hair follicles throughout my scalp. And then I'll basically use castor oil right after. And castor oil is known to help with hair growth. And so I'll massage it into my head and then leave it overnight. I've honestly only done this once so far, and I will say that it has made my hair a lot softer. As far as hair growth, I mean, you're not going to see results overnight. So I'll give you guys an update within the next couple months. But I will say that the castor oil, which I got off of Amazon, I'll post the links below, did come with these two little samples right here, a spoolie to use for your lashes, and then this little brush is what I use for my brows. I will say that I've been using the castor oil and the spoolie more on my lashes than I have been on my actual scalp. I used it on my left lash because my left lashes are shorter than my right. So I used it on my left side basically for an entire week religiously. And I will say that I feel like it's way more even now. So I'm really excited to continue using this on my hair. And then obviously another thing that I like to use for hair loss or hair maintenance is biotin. So this I got off of Amazon as well. This had the best reviews. I love it because it's made with coconut oil and it's non-GMO. And another thing about biotin is it not only helps with hair growth, but it helps make your skin look better, and it also helps strengthen your nails. So that's another thing when it comes to like undergoing chemotherapy. Having lupus nephritis is that the chemotherapy is going to make your skin super dull. And when I was undergoing chemotherapy, it made my skin dull, gray. It just looked so funky. And then it also made my nails like super black and brittle, and they were ripping all the time. So I love this stuff. And then other little tips and tricks that I want to give in regards to hair loss is basically keep your hair as natural as possible. The more chemicals you put in it, the more that you dye it, the more heat that you apply, the more damage that it'll give your hair, and your hair will fall out. So I like to keep my hair as natural as possible. This is the natural color. I will say I do straighten my hair because this haircut is so much cuter when it's straightened. But I actually try to do dry shampoo in between. So I basically don't wash my hair every other day like I used to. So I try to keep it to like every 3 to 4 days, and then anytime in between I'll use dry shampoo, and then I just pray that it stays straight. Sometimes there'll be like little hairs under that will curl up like the next day, but that part I'll straighten out and I'll leave the rest as is. So yeah, so like I mentioned, I have been struggling with hair loss here and there. You can kind of see some fuzz going on. The only thing I like to use for the fuzz at the moment is this Bumble and Bumble invisible oil. It smells so good. There's probably chemicals in here, but honestly it just smells so good and it works really well for the frizz. So the second part that I wanted to talk about in regards to how I cope with lupus nephritis is your skin. So basically undergoing chemotherapy, like I mentioned when I talked about taking biotin, is that the chemotherapy just makes your skin super dull. And I don't know if it was just me during that time or if this is a common symptom, but every time I had to undergo chemotherapy, my skin was also really, really dry. And so when it comes to battling like the dullness and dryness, I highly suggest to consider products with a lot of vitamin C in it and basically moisturize, moisturize, moisturize. So I am not undergoing chemotherapy at the moment, but I thought I would share a few things so that for those of you who are undergoing chemotherapy at the moment, especially with lupus nephritis, you guys can kind of use the few things that I suggest. This is the C-FIRMA Day Serum by Drunk Elephant. I love everything from the Drunk Elephant line. I practically use everything from the Drunk Elephant line, but this basically has a high concentration of vitamin C in it, and vitamin C is known to help brighten your skin. So this stuff is freaking amazing. And then, I mean, there are cheaper alternatives you can kind of look into because Drunk Elephant is quite expensive. But again, I just highly suggest to use products with vitamin C in it. Another thing that I would highly suggest to do is to do sheet mask. Sheet mask, I love. I do sheet masks probably like 2 to 3 times a week. I have it just in different brands. Just so you can kind of see the variety in prices. I do have a Tatcha one. This one was like 12 bucks, but I do have like the Korean brand, which I think these were like $1.50 or $2. But yeah, just to basically give your face an extra boost of hydration on top of the moisturizer or serums that you're already using. But yeah, but taking care of your skin is really, really important when you're undergoing such an intensive treatment, because honestly, when you're undergoing an intensive treatment, basically having a health condition will most likely stress you out, and then stressing out also causes a lot of skin problems. So take care of your skin. Don't neglect it, like seriously. I think during my first round of chemotherapy, I like broke out in so much acne, and then when the acne finally healed, I had like so much hyperpigmentation. It was like so gross. So yeah, so again, take care of your skin. Another thing that I want to mention, again, because we did talk about biotin, is your nails. My biggest suggestion on your nails or the maintenance of your nails is don't get it done. Basically, no gel, no acrylic. That is just going to damage your skin and, excuse me, your nails, and it's just gonna thin it out. And honestly, this is something I need to do. I know my coworkers always pick on me about it, but keep your cuticles super moisturized and basically just keep your nails short to prevent it from ripping, because when it rips, it hurts, especially if it gets down lower than it's supposed to. Like, it's gonna hurt. And so yeah, I don't have any, honestly, products that I use other than just putting on lotion. I should look into it. I know there are strengthening nail polishes and, again, specialized products to help moisturize your cuticles, but those are my suggestions. So another thing that I wanted to talk about is the moon phase. And I know I mentioned the moon phase in my very first lupus video. I think it was my intro video, where I talked about how prednisone basically causes a buildup of fat in the tissues of your face and gives you what's known as the moon phase. But this only really occurs on higher doses of prednisone. And if you're undergoing lupus nephritis, especially undergoing more of the intense treatment to it, you're most likely taking high doses of prednisone. So I thought this is really important for me to mention. I can honestly make a whole prednisone video in itself, so I'm just going to give you straightforward tips and tricks. So basically, how I battle with the swelling is every morning that I wake up, I basically use this right here. This is like my favorite thing ever. This is the SKINCOOL ice roller, and so I keep it in the freezer. and every morning I basically use it to kind of roll out the puffiness throughout my face. This is really nice because it not only helps stimulate circulation in your face, it also helps depuff, and it also helps shrink pores. So it helps it prep for makeup, which is really nice. And what I like about this particular roller is the size of it, because I can also use this on my head and neck or back area whenever like I feel like my neck is tense, or like I feel like I'm getting a migraine. And it's also really good size to use to help roll out any cramps in my legs, which I have done it quite a few times. So yeah, so as soon as I'm done using it, I put it back in the freezer. Another thing that I like to use to help depuff my face, I know I totally got sucked into this. This is one of those like little advertisements that popped up on Instagram that is probably, or I think I'm for sure it's like from China or something, but I don't even know what it's called, but it's this right here, and what it is it vibrates. I don't know if you can hear it. It vibrates, and it's kind of the same concept as this, except the vibration kind of helps stimulate circulation like times 100 basically. I was looking into the one on Amazon, and I was like, it was like way too expensive for me, so I went the cheaper Chinese route, and I got this one instead, and I really like it. So I'll do this first to get the cooling sensation, and then I'll do this after. And I will say that I feel like my face isn't as puffy when I use these together. And then another thing about taking prednisone, at least for me, is that it makes the hair on my face grow super fast and super thick. And I freaking hate it. It's so weird because it's like, you know, you're experiencing hair loss on your scalp, but you're growing like freaking werewolf fuzz on your face. And so what I've been using for the past couple of years is this right here, the SALLEY HANSEN hair removal. I will say that this is actually not my favorite product in the world, because after I use it, so it's basically lotion you leave on for a couple minutes and then you wipe it off, and my face will feel amazing after, and then applying makeup like the next day is like freaking so smooth. But the only thing about it is when the hair starts to grow back a little, I'll get like little bumps on my face. And I've been wanting to transition into like actual like tools for hair removal, not like a razor, but I know that there's like other tools out there for like facial hair removal, but I'm unsure of which one to pick. So last but not least, the most important thing that I want to talk about in regards to how I cope with lupus nephritis physically is how I cope with the body swelling. So basically with lupus nephritis, the more active you are, or the more on your feet you are, the more water your body basically accumulates. So I have struggled with this for many years. So again, I've learned a lot of tips and tricks on how to get rid of the water fast and basically hide it as good as possible. And honestly, the only way to really get rid of the water fast is to take diuretics. And diuretics are normally prescribed by a physician, but you can find diuretics naturally in things such as like coffee and tea. But basically being on diuretics makes you pee like crazy, and you are basically losing the water a lot faster than your body can kind of catch up with. So you're losing a lot of minerals and electrolytes along the way, which causes or can cause cramping. Cramping is like the biggest side effect to taking diuretics, and it's honestly the most annoying thing ever. Like, if you have ever experienced a leg cramp, imagine having both your legs cramping at the same time, lasting for like an hour or more. It's like so annoying. And honestly, throughout the years, it's like there's only so much like Powerade or Gatorade you can really drink. And honestly, those type of athletic drinks have so much sugar in it. It's like something I don't drink that often, but when I feel like I am getting a cramp, I will. And it's really annoying because once you're having that cramp, like, it's not like whatever, like drinking Powerade is gonna make it go away right then and there. Like, it's very gradual. So I like to try to prevent it ahead of time. Again, I'll drink Powerade and Gatorade here and there. And I do have hydrate packs. This was given to me by my boss. And it's basically a travel size Gatorade or whatever. You could just pour it into water and then drink it. And that way, I was at Walmart a couple of months ago, and I did see in the children's section that there was Pedialyte packs, which I've used, and they're really good. They're really tasty. And more recently, because I have been struggling with cramping this past couple of days, I tried to look up like electrolyte tablets that I could take, maybe more so like on a daily basis. But instead, this popped up on Amazon. Kind of obsessed with Amazon right now. And they're basically rapid rehydration solutions. And this one is called, again, LYTESHOW. And you basically mix, it says mix 3 milliliters of LYTESHOW with 32 ounces of water. And it says do not exceed 8 servings in a 24-hour period. So I literally just got this, but I did taste it earlier today, and it does have like this citrusy aftertaste to it. So I guess this is really nice because it comes with a little travel size. So whenever I am going to, I guess, drink either water or any type of beverage I plan on drinking, I'm just gonna pour 3 milliliters in here, or in that drink, hoping that I'll get an extra boost of rehydration. Because honestly, I will say I'm not very good at drinking water constantly. I know I should, but it just sucks because I feel like I know that I don't drink enough water to compensate for like my size, but I still pee like crazy. And that's like not even being on diuretics. So imagine me actually drinking a lot of water and being on diuretics. It's like such a workout, but I do need to find that balance. So other things that I like to use to help with the body swelling is compression socks and body shapers. So let me show you. So I got these compression socks off, surprise, surprise, Amazon. It came in a pack of 7, and I really love it because they don't look like medical compression socks. Because I do have other compression socks which like say copper on it, or has like this weird like old grandpa design to it. But I love these compression socks because they are very fashionable, so I can wear them out and kind of show them off and you can't tell they're compression socks. I wear these every day to help the circulation in my legs, and also helps lessen the swelling. And when my legs are swollen, I do like to wear these to again help the circulation in combination with it being swollen. I only wear this during the day. I should start wearing these to sleep, honestly. Maybe I'll buy another pack or so, but again, I really love these. Like I mentioned, body shapers is another thing that I've been using actually a little bit more recently. So I have this one. So they're basically shorts with like a high-waisted shorts. I guess. And what I do is anytime that I experience like really intense body swelling, I actually sleep sitting upright. You know, when I was first diagnosed with lupus nephritis and I was on bed rest and my body was like super swollen, like I'm not kidding you, like 20 to 30 pounds of water weight. I woke up one morning and I couldn't breathe because the water made its way to my neck area, and like my neck was swollen. So from then on, I was like, you know what, whenever my body's swollen, I'm not going to sleep flat anymore. So what I love about these is I can wear this while I'm sleeping, and it compresses my stomach so that it keeps everything down. And then what I also like about it is it kind of squeezes my body in a way where it makes me pee very often, which helps get rid of the water faster. So now getting in the more fashionable portion of this whole video. Like I mentioned before, when I was first diagnosed with lupus nephritis, I had a lot of body swelling, and I was diagnosed during a time where it was getting close to summer, so it was really hot during that time. So I invested a lot in maxi dresses, and so I'm just going to show you a few options today. These aren't the same dresses that I wore when I was first diagnosed, but just to kind of give you an idea of like how fashionable you could still be with the body swelling. But basically this dress right here is my favorite dress to wear to work. It's basically this lace dress that's really long. There's a lot of room to hide the swelling. And like I mentioned before, I work for MAC Cosmetics, and I do also work at a dental office. But these are the type of clothes that I love to wear to MAC because it's still fashionable, and I'm still able to like hide all of my swollen kinkles, thighs, and back. And then this is very similar in style, but I wore this to a wedding last year. But again, maxi dress. This was like off the shoulder. And so yeah, so just a few styles to kind of show you. What's kind of nice about my size is that I'm really petite, so when I'm really swollen, again, I like to keep all of the swelling down. So as long as I keep, like, I have really long skinny arms, so as long as I keep this looking still skinny, I like look normal and you can't tell that I'm swollen. So again, I like to keep the swelling down. So other things that I like to wear would be like jogger pants. This is my favorite jogger pants because there's a lot of room to stretch, but it basically has the tie you can wear on your waist area, and then it's super stretchy at the end. So you know, when my ankles do swell up, you honestly just can't tell. So this I love. I wear this to work too. And then investing in like trousers. Trousers are like my favorite in general, even without swelling. But like trouser, oh shoot, sorry. So like trousers, again, it has the tie in the waist, and then again a lot of room. And then I like these trousers specifically because this still has a lot of room for me to breathe. And then another one that I actually purchased recently. I don't know if, would you still consider these trousers? I'm not too sure. But it still has, again, the waist tie, and it's thick all throughout, and it doesn't taper at the end, which I love. So that is all that I have to share in regards to how I cope with lupus nephritis physically. I hope you all enjoyed the video and enjoyed all of the tips and tricks that I had to give. Again, these are all things that worked for me or are working for me at the moment. So if it doesn't work for you for some reason, I am so sorry. But if you guys have any tips and tricks, I would love to know. I would love to know how you guys cope with it. with all like the physical side effects of having lupus nephritis and like all the physical side effects of undergoing chemotherapy. Please share that with me, comment below, email me, whatever. I'm totally down to hear from any one of you guys, and you guys have been hitting me up, which is really nice. And again, like I did mention in the beginning of the video, I am breaking these videos down into different parts. So my next video in how I cope with lupus nephritis is going to be how I cope with it medically. And I will say that I am not going to give any medical advice in regards to like medical coverage, what doctors to look for. I'm really just going to keep it basic and really just talk about like how I go about taking my medications, supplements, and like how I communicate with my doctors and keep track of like my health and whatnot. So it's more so on like that type of medical advice. And then the video right after that will be on how I cope with lupus nephritis emotionally and mentally. So yeah, so thank you all for watching. I really appreciate all the feedback I'm getting from everyone. And again, I do apologize that it had taken me so long to make an updated video. I am more inspired than ever, so I'm going to get those next 2 videos to you guys as soon as possible. And again, thank you. And yeah, see you in the next video, you guys. Bye.